Hello, hello. We are here on another live event. Thank you so much for joining. And today we are going to be talking about the future of paid search, which is a very interesting topic, especially with all the changes happening with AI and the entire, machine learning in general, right? And how is that affecting advertising? Because now more than ever, we are bombarded with so much content, with so much ads that it's kind of like impossible to one, stand out, or two, be able to know what's not even a spam anymore, honestly, with so many ads that we get. So let's go ahead and get started. Share my screen. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty. So before, of course, as usual, make sure that you are following us on all the different platforms that we have, right? We are obviously everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, X, and also LinkedIn, which is really where we are most active on LinkedIn itself. Okay, so what are we going to be sharing today? First, I'm going to go over a little bit of the overview of course, why it's so important to stay ahead in paid search. Then we're going to go over a little bit about what are the emerging trends. And we're really going to stay here the longest because it's the main topic, right? Like, what are these emerging trends? How can you optimize your ad campaigns to improve that return on investment, which is really what we are all trying to get? What are all the possibilities on AI? And I'm not really going to be sharing so many tools itself, but I will be sharing kind of like what can you do with the tools, because there's so many available and a lot of them are new. Others are a little bit more complicated than others. They're more simple, more expensive. So I'll be talking more about in big terms on what are the tools that you should consider having based on the different emerging trends in Google Ads, right? And which ones are the best for your type of business and the size of your business as well, and the size of your budget, of course. And then kind of like what are the analytics that you want to be paying attention to, and the tools that you can tie in. Because when you are running ads, you have to think that you're not only creating this campaign and it's going to be by itself, right? You want to collect the email address or something from your audience so you can then nurture that prospect for them to take action later on, right? So, and again, this depends a lot on your type of product, right? If you are a consumer, then you have a quicker turnaround. If you're targeting consumers, I'm sorry, we're all consumers. So if you're targeting consumers, it's obviously you have an easier and quicker click-through rate and conversion rate. However, if you are a business to business, or even if you're targeting consumer, but your product is like over $1,000 or even more, like 10,000, hundred thousands of dollars for somebody to purchase your product or service, for somebody to make that decision, it will take more time, of course. It will take a little bit more convincing versus a product that's probably $19.99, like $19.99. All right. All right. So first, let's start with, why do we want to stay ahead? Well, staying ahead is going to ensure you that, number one, your ads are going to be seen before those of your competitor, especially if you jump on trends that are, happening. Like when you jump on these trends, instead of being the last one that you actually jump on a trend, you have more possibilities of being seen before your competition. And sometimes your competitors won't even jump because they still stay, in the same type of ads, the same type of campaigns that they've been using. So just by you watching content and learning about the different ad campaigns that you can be running, that is going to help you stay ahead, and it's going to help you separate yourself from your competition. But that's, of course, kind of obvious, right? So next, I would say your cost efficiency, right? Google, sorry, this thing is bugging me a little bit. So Google and all of these different platforms are constantly updating themselves, right? So for you, and every time it's getting more and more competitor, for you to use your dollars the most efficient way, you want to learn all those latest changes on the different bidding platforms or the different changes on the algorithm on what do they prioritize when they are charging for your ad to be shown, right? So those that knowledge is gonna help you and allow you to create advanced strategies and optimize really your ad for a better quality score, which is going to give you a better return on investment. In other words, it's going to reduce that cost per click cost, right? Uh, this only translates into better return on investment, right? Now that takes me to the next one, which is adaptation to changes, right? Like just by staying ahead, learning about all the changes, not only on bidding strategies, but in general, all the different changes and updates in the algorithm. And this is on the ads algorithm, right? We're not talking SEO because SEO, it also changes constantly, and Google is also constantly updating their algorithm. But they do that also on their ad platform. And if you're staying ahead, you're going to be able to adapt to those changes because that gap of learning, it shrinks, right? Imagine if you haven't learned anything about Google Ads and the last time you kind of like dedicated time was 5 years ago. Well, 5 years ago versus today, a lot of things have changed, right? So taking the time and prioritizing every month, dedicating a few hours or setting up alerts on your Google itself will allow you to stay ahead of the trends and adapt to those changes quicker. Because if you change your ads and you change your bidding strategy, you change the images to whatever is going to work best to show up to your audience and to really maximize that return on investment, it's going to help you obviously adapt to those changes, but it's really going to help you stay compliant, reduce the risk of your ads getting denied or your ads not showing up really to the right person. Next, I have obviously maximizing the ad performance. Again, all those three, and I feel like I'm repeating myself, but all of them are really focused on conversion rate, right? Maximizing that performance to get the best return on your investment. At the end of the day, that's what we all want, right? We want better click-through rates, we want better conversions, we want more clients, right? Now, it also helps you be able to use the tools for a precise audience segmentation. So what that means is basically advanced targeting options are a thing that it keeps improving and it keeps getting better and better, right? The days of trying to target everybody and anybody and just whoever wants this type of product or whatever service, those days are in the past. Now you want to know, hey, is your client into yoga? Hey, okay, then make sure that you are adding those interests so you can target better. So the advanced targeting is allowing you for a more precise audience segmentation, which allows you to create better content that's going to connect with that audience persona. That at the end is, and it has to be your goal, right? That connection. Because again, we are bombarded with so many ads every single day, everywhere we go, that that connection is what's going to help you improve your conversion rate. Telling the right thing at the right moment to the right person, it's going to create that connection. And lastly, of course, enhancing that user experience, right? Like if you stay ahead, you are going to enhance your user experience because you are going to be able to make changes before your competition, right? that's going to follow all the best practices, because again, you're going to know what Google cares, what your audience is responding, how your target audience is responding to the different colors that you're using or the different images that you're using, right? Keeping up with these best practices in the ad design is going to help you, again, engage with your audience, connect with them, and show relevant ads, right? Like how many times have you seen an ad and you're like, why am I even looking? And I'm the type of person that I click on the ad and I'm like, it's not relevant. Like, how many times have you had to even think of that if you don't do it like me? That's because people are just using broad audience. They're not staying ahead with the different trends and not really dedicating the time to implement these advanced strategies, these advanced filtering, to basically kind of like increase your conversion instead of just trying to get everybody and see what sticks, right? So that's never the best approach. Okay, let's move. Now that we know why we want to stay ahead, let's talk a little bit about what are those emerging trends, right? And I try to focus on three main kind of like big areas, right? Well, obviously, AI is increasingly used for better performance and return on investment. So we don't want to stay in the dark thinking that I don't want to use AI because it's going to take my job. No, AI is another tool like Excel was back in the day when, things were done manually and Excel came out and people was like, "Oh my god, I'm going to lose my job." No. AI is just going to help you do your job better. It's going to help you save hours on your day so you can do it and dedicate more time doing things for fun instead of then trying to figure out why my ad is not working. Um, okay, so number one is, and I talked about this earlier, right? Precise customer targeting. That's like the number one um, emerging trend in Google Ads. And I guess, you could say that it's not as new because, every time we're trying to be and try to get as targeted as possible. But this audience segmentation and this audience personalization is allowing you as the advertiser or as a marketing director to target specific user groups based on their behaviors, their interests, their demographics, right? But Google is only giving you the tool, right? It's only allowing you to set those parameters. Now it's up to you to know your audience and to know what those parameters are going to be, right? Like, if you know that your target audience, it's someone that is more like healthy, chic, whatever, like that's what you want to show. But if you are targeting your audience with someone who, for example, is more into, even if you're a lawyer, right? Like, imagine that if you're a lawyer or something like that, and you know your audience love pets, and you know your customers love dogs because they're more focused on family and whatever, then that's what you need to be showing on your ads. And it sounds so simple, it sounds so crazy, but a lot of times we don't do that, right? Uh, Using those and setting up those different parameters is going to increase that relevancy of your ad, that connection, right? And there are different type of ads nowadays where you only have a few seconds, not 10, 15 seconds, a few, like 2 or 3 seconds to make that connection. So precise customer targeting becomes extremely relevant. We've actually updated our audience persona template that we're always like trying to give away for free. So if you want to download the updated one, make sure that you comment, just write on the comments, audience persona template. I'll send it over. And I want you to really just dedicate time. Now, when you are running ads, don't run just one ad for everybody. Like, run 5, 6, 7 different ads for those different audience personas that you are creating. Thanks to AI, you are able to also compare those different ads, compare those different audiences, and see which one is performing better. Because perhaps one audience persona is better at clicking on displayed ads versus a different type of audience persona that will click better video ads. And we see this a lot in the different like generational, uh, like let's say baby boomer versus a Gen Z or a millennial, right? Like they will click on the ads differently. Now the next one is obviously the automation and the smart bidding, right? Like I talked about the efficiency of or the cost saving or the cost effectiveness. Now, in automation and smart bidding, like Google Ads is offering different automated strategies that you can choose to. What I recommend is that you choose these based on your audience persona. That's why I put that one second, right? Like choose your target, and based on that target, you can choose a different type of bidding strategy. So basically, for example, one can be based on the impressions that you make, because one type of audience persona could take more time to see your ad and make that decision versus someone that can be making quicker decisions. Then you set up a different type of bidding strategy for that type of audience, right? So changing your bidding or cost strategy based on your audience persona, it's going to increase your performance and return on investment on your ad. And last but not least, my favorite part, the visual and interactive ad formats, right? We are looking at ads every single day, all the time, right? So Google allows us to have all kinds of options on what can we see and what we can't see. Like, I mean, what can we use, I'm sorry, and what we can't use in terms of ads, right? Nowadays, we have different visual ads, right? The typical display ads or galleries. We have video ads on YouTube, for example, that little short that we see before. But also, we have to start thinking about voice search ads, right? Now, that's going to be interesting as we move forward. Voice search is going to, I mean, voice search in general is just changing the way people is interacting with Google, with search, just like looking for information online. Right nowadays, we are always just, asking Siri and I don't want Siri to get activated uh, for any questions that we have, right? So how are you going to use that as an advertiser, right? How are you going to adapt your strategy for voice search queries, right? Um, what keywords are you going to be using for those type of ads that are going to be coming, right? So you need to start thinking about, okay, typically voice search, it's more conversational, right? Like nowadays, especially if it's through a chatbot or something like that, it's going to be longer and more conversational. So you have to start thinking about that when you are creating your ad strategy or your ad format if you're targeting this type. And honestly, just have fun with it, try it out and see how it goes. But then next, in terms of the visual ads and interactive ads, right? I talked a little bit about the discovery ads. The display ads. So the displayed ads are the usual different banners that we see on different websites and whatnot. Those have been there forever. They're still going to be there. They are still good in terms of brand awareness, right? If your strategy is for brand awareness, keep moving forward with those type of ads. Then you have the YouTube masthead ads. So the masthead ads are usually those ads that show up on top like a big banner. Those are specifically great for corporate type of accounts, like larger accounts, because these will be, well, number one, more expensive, sometimes like $300,000 a day that you will be spending on that ad. And even worse if it's during Super Bowl season. right? So those are the masthead ads are usually great for large corporations that are looking to build awareness, right? They just want the word out everywhere, right? And it usually it works better if you connect it with other ads, right? Or if it's following you around, or if they click on it and of course it goes to a specific landing page, or there's a contest involved. Now the regular YouTube ads, right? You have the one that shows up right before your the video that you're gonna watch, right? That's of course if you're not paying the YouTube subscription. So those are very good if you're looking for a high conversion, right? If you want people to click on it and go, even though, a lot of times and most of the time we skip on those ads, if the ads, honestly, like when you are clicking skip to that ad, is because that person didn't do the precise customer targeting, right? They're just going everywhere, right? But if you did your job and you did this, the person that is watching that video ad is going to most likely click on it, right? Because that's kind of like how I've done it, right? Like whenever I see an ad that's relevant to me, then yeah, I'm gonna click on the ad and I'm gonna watch it. Especially whenever it's something about like nutrition and things like that, I'm always watching those. Um, and the same is going to happen with your customer, right? So make sure you're doing that precise customer targeting first, like really, you're really segmenting your audience and you know exactly what's going to make them move before you jump into choosing the type of ad. So it's kind of like know exactly who you're targeting, then choose based on that, choose your bidding strategy, and now let's choose the format of your ad, right? So going back to the type of YouTube ads. So that one that shows up right before the ad is going to show, it can help you increase your conversion rate if it's set up properly. So that one can give you a lot of clicks. So it's ideal for lead generation campaigns versus like the discovery ads. So the discovery ads is when you're watching a video, right? And you have on the right side, like all the little videos, there's always like the sponsor one on top. Those are called discovery ads. So those discovery ads are great, again, for brand awareness. What matters there is the cover that you're using and of course that display content, like the title of the video. That's really what's going to help you with the click-through rate, people clicking on that ad to watch it, right? However, it's going to have a way lower, very, very low conversion rate because sometimes people won't even see it, to be honest, right? Like you really have to get their attention, right? It has to be something that's going to make them stop or make them look for them to click on it. However, it's really good for brand awareness, for people to just kind of like in the background, like in the noise, like, oh, yeah, I know they exist. They're there. They're always there, right? So you want to keep them there just for that reason. But if you're looking for lead generation, then it's better that you go with the other type of YouTube ads. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the different tools that you can use. Now, I am going to suggest these tools, but again, I am not getting any commission. I'm not getting literally anything from these tools. These are going to help you identify and segment your audiences more accurately. It's going to help you predict your customer behavior and optimize your ad placements, right? So that's really like all these 5 tools that I'm going to share right now are going to help you with that. So first one, we had Albert AI, and you've probably heard about them. This tool is really known for helping you process and analyze your audience information. Again, these tools are usually used for corporate accounts, but some of them can offer you, depending on the plan, depending on your budget, some of them may make sense for you or not, right? If you're looking for something different, all of them have kind of like their competition at a lower rate as well. They're not going to offer all of the capabilities that these tools offer, but they can offer the ones that you will need because also a small business versus a corporate account, you're not going to have the same needs, right? And you're not trying to target the same amount of people as well. Okay, so Albert AI helps you analyze your audience information, right, at a large scale, helping you optimize your budget. So you don't necessarily have to do it on Google itself. You can do it everything through their app as well. Sky, this one focuses on a more like omni-channel. So here we are going to be able to create and combine different campaigns through one platform. So instead of you just running Google Ads, you can run Google Ads, social media ads, and any other platforms as well. And it helps you kind of like learn a little bit more about your ad creative, right? And get more feedback on that specifically and how you can change that on your marketing strategy. Now, Persado Motivation AI, this one is more it's a different type of AI tool that gives you a more generative AI results. Like basically, it helps you produce high conversion digital marketing messages that's going to connect with your audience, right? So it can actually refine that content across many platforms. So it's a little bit different, but it really focuses more on that, like the words that you're going to be using, right? Now, Smartly is a tool that's going to facilitate a more efficient marketing campaign itself, right? You're going to be able to test campaigns. They're all very similar, right? They're all going to allow you to test campaigns and execute your advertising strategies using obviously the data that's going to be collecting and optimizing that, right? So, but they're all a little bit different. Like, for example, you can combine some of them, integrate them directly with other platforms that you're using, or use Zapier to kind of like do it, right? And then you have Path Factory. Path Factory is really mostly used for B2B because it helps you kind of like close that sales cycle and nurture your customer faster with better content that is more relevant, right? Because again, everything is about personalization and how can you personalize your content to reach your target audience faster, quicker, without creating that friction of, this person is trying to sell something to me, or ignore, or sending tons of emails, messages that nobody's ever gonna open or read. Instead, create content that's actually gonna connect with your audience whenever they need it, specifically, because again, it's all about the right time to the right person. That's it. Just have to have the right content, right, at the right moment to the right person. So Path Factory helps a lot with business to business, right? And again, all of these tools, when you're creating an ad campaign, your goal has to be to remove that friction between the different customer, like the different stages your customer goes in that customer journey to make that purchase, right? B2C, business to consumer, have a shorter one versus business to business have a longer sales cycle usually. Okay, I'll give you an example. This is in 2016 using Persado. And again, I have no affiliation. I don't make any commission, nothing at all whatsoever. This is just an example for you guys to kind of like see, right? Like Chase was using Persado. They had 450% increase in clicks, and they used it to just literally rewrite their copy. Literally just changing the words. Who knew? Changing headlines that's going to connect better to your audience. That's basically what they were using it for. Okay, and I'm running out of time. Okay, and I'm just going to end it with these AI analytic tools that I honestly recommend that you at least use one of them whenever you're using your Google Ads. Because yes, with Google Ads, you go into the platform and you're going to be able to see what it is that, how many people clicked on it and whatever. But if you actually want to nurture your leads and get even better return on investment long term, combine that with any of these tools to take it to the next level. And again, I'm not affiliated with any of them. Just, these are the tools that I like, that I've used in the past. Uh, not that I think they're the best out there. There's so many tools out there. These are the ones that I have better experience with, that I've liked and that I've used. Right? Google Analytics, of course, whenever you're creating any ad campaign, make sure that you're creating a specific tracking link, so you can know exactly what campaign is producing you the best results. And I'm gonna end with sharing the three main reasons why an ad campaign wouldn't work, right? So if your ad campaign is not working and you're not getting the results, first thing, change the content, because maybe the content is not talking to your audience. So if you change the content and you see a difference, then that was basically the issue, right? If you change the content and you're still not getting results, okay, then maybe people are not seeing your ad because it's not really grabbing their attention, right? So if you are not getting any kind of high views, it's because the image or the video that you're using is not connecting with your audience. So change that picture, change that image. But maybe you tell me, hey, Patricia, I'm getting a lot of views, tons of views, but nobody's clicking on it. Okay, then change the headlines, right? That content that you have there, because that's not driving your conversions. People are not connecting to that content. So you change that. But then you can tell me, hey, Patricia, I'm getting tons of clicks, but zero conversion. People are not purchasing my product or not booking that appointment. Okay, so then I'll tell you that maybe the landing page that hopefully you're using is not working because it's not connecting with your audience. And then we have to go and do the same process again, right? Or perhaps you have the lead generation form that has way too many clicks, way too many information that you are requesting, right? So with that, I'm going to end it. And I always try to put so much information. I want to always try to keep these videos short, less than 30 minutes. Today I went a little bit over, but I hope you found this valuable. Again, everything starts with your audience. So if you really want to optimize and you want to stay ahead of all Google Ads search tools that are available, you have to start with your audience. If you don't know exactly who you're targeting, you are not going to be able to take advantage of any of the new tools or advanced segmenting tools that Google has to offer now. Personalization is key nowadays with your marketing campaign for a better performance and higher return on investment. So make sure that you ask for our audience persona template. Make sure you just put it on the comments and I'll see you there. Alrighty, bye.